back to my channel. My name is Kim, but I go by Kimberkiss here on YouTube. Today we're going to do a reading for the MINTAKA Starseeds. So Mintaka is a star in the Orion's belt constellation. So there's Almatak on a lamb and then Mintaka to the right. And Mintaka is a little bit off kilter from the other two. It's to the farthest right, up a little bit. So that is the star we are channeling for today in this reading. So I'm going to do a reading for the Mintakans. I'm really excited. I actually hold a pretty large placement of Mintaka within my natal chart. And so I love Mintaka. The Mintaka is associated with mermaids, the rainbows, the rainbow prophecy, the story of Manataka by the Native Americans, and Manataka in Arkansas. So I will link that story below if you guys are MINTAKA Starseeds and you're interested. Wow, yeah, I got that feeling for you guys too. Wow, okay. Very cool. So for the Mintakans, we have the called card, and this says soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. So this is definitely, like, I've gotten this card for almost all the Starseed Origins readings. By the way, you guys, all my readings are considered timeless. Whenever you're drawn to them, they will contain the messages that you're needing to hear at the time. So literally any reading that you click on, I highly recommend watching the ones that you're drawn to, as they are considered timeless. Also, I pulled this card for almost all the Starseed Origins for these recent readings. So yes, and feel free to watch the other Origins too, as they all contain different light codes from those different star systems. So it's very, very beneficial and helpful for you along your ascensional path. But this is the called card. This is showing a portal of rebirthing. So this is soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. So you can't really hold back anymore. Like, it's really time for you to step into your mission, your purpose, why you came here, or whatever it is that's calling to you. It's time to go for that, to enter that space, that door. This is also showing, you know, how ancient and futuristic you are with all these like light language symbols and the petroglyphs and hieroglyphs, the ancient wisdom, the future wisdom. I feel like the ancients had so much more wisdom than we do now, and I feel that's because they were more connected to Earth and the cosmos, because they were in it all the time. I mean, they weren't separated. They didn't really live in houses. They didn't really have the internet to distract them. They didn't have all the things that we have obstructing our way to enlightenment, right? And though I feel we're already enlightened and we're already ascended and in touch, I just feel like the ancients is more of a futuristic civilization, just because they held the codes, they held the knowledge, they held the wisdom, and they held the direct contact with the beings of light. So a lot of us do now, a lot of us Starseeds do now, but this was more on a mass scale. And so, yeah, but it's just asking you to tap into kind of like your futuristic higher self and really look towards the future, what you'll be doing, and then take steps towards that, okay? So that's the message there. Then we have the void, and I learned something this past weekend actually from my younger sister, which I'll go into in a minute, but this is stop, embrace the winter, great cosmic womb. So what's interesting is like the false light, and then there's the darkness. And so my sister made a very interesting point that when you die, you're not supposed to go into the light. The archons will pose as family members trying to get you to go into the light, but the true light is actually the darkness, because the darkness is where creation occurs. It's the womb. So when a baby is born, they're held in the womb of darkness before being created, before they are born. But then I wondered, you know, well, babies are born into the light, right? When they come out. So I don't know how much of this is true. This is just something that she told me that I thought was interesting. But I don't know if I believe that or not, and I will leave that up to you to decide, to discern, and to witness the universe in that, and to just notice what you feel in the stillness of creation. So if you could embody or envision the dark cosmic womb and enter that, what would you witness? What would you see? It's kind of like remembering, but it's almost like going to the future. So it's like I have this dualistic message of rebirth or birth, and then before that, or the past and the future. Like it's like it all comes together within this great cosmic womb. So I hope this is making sense, but they're wanting you to remember where you were or what you saw or what you were before you were birthed onto earth. And I feel like you can access this because that knowledge is deep within inside of you. And it's like you have to go through this tunnel exploring it and remembering it. Tunnel vision, I guess. It's really an interesting message, and I hope I'm making sense here. Then for this double mission card, I had 3 cards fly out with this from 2 different decks. So we'll go into this one. This is double mission. So as multifaceted as you are as a soul, as a being, as a starseed, your mission is just as multifaceted. So a lot of people, especially like, I don't know, they say on YouTube you're supposed to have one niche, blah, 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 but it's so impossible to live. It's like, why limit yourself when you're so multifaceted and multidimensional? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Follow your truth when it comes to this, but I feel like you have as many missions as you are multidimensional. So pick a few and dive in, you know? The water's fine. Pick a few and dive in. But this means you're a light worker, a starseed, and it says serve the world by just being you. And yeah, just be you. Just be you and find a way that you can inspire others and help them along their journeys, you know? Just be yourself. Know that it's okay to be a light worker and to be of service and to do the things that you love. I mean, these all coincide together, and I feel like this is really the key right here. And then we have a change of self-discipline coming into when it's doing your missions here, because we do have the step up card where you're being called to step up and lead. Your double mission here is a light worker and a starseed, and by serving the world, by being yourself, and to have self-discipline with this. And we have intuition in the reverse and angel number 22. So there's definitely a message here with the number 22 that I would like you to look up and see which one resonates here. But a lot of you aren't following your intuition when it comes to your creative beckonings, your creative callings. And so it's really asking you to trust yourself and follow your intuition. Work on your sacral chakra, especially here, because we have like the reddish orange here in both these cards, which symbolizes the sacral chakra and where your creativity lies. Because in this area is like very electric, you know, everything's electric there. And you have more of an effect and a power than you believe you do. This is the lightning power card. So your power really comes from your sacral chakra and in your creating what it is that you're here to do. Now, I'm going to have to do some looking here because we have the ceremony, okay? So there's some ceremony taking place. There's some sort of invocation that you're going to be doing here. And I want to read this one because I really can't remember what this one is. So it is in sacred ceremony that we have one of the greatest opportunities to experience communion with Source. So this is an invocation with Source here. One where the perceived dualities of both heaven and earth merge into an experience of the divine. Through use of sacred pieces that have become imbued with spiritual significance, we bring forth ceremony catalyzed by clear intention and preparation. Sacred ceremony is prayer in action. So in this image, a woman kneels before an altar where a number of crystals are placed. It looks like she has moldavite on top of selenite, and I swear I just purchased moldavite and my friend was charging it with selenite. It's very interesting. In this image, a woman kneels before an altar where a number of crystals are placed. Light emanating from her hands. We see incense burning. Snake spirit rests nearby. Interesting. The serpent of wisdom and knowledge is here. And various ethereal beings appear in a wispy shroud of light around her head. All the while, the tapestry upon which she sits appears to be on fire, symbolizing the fiery passion right? Your sacral, your inner fire, brought on by the intense focus of spirit that has been invoked for this ceremony. Calling spirit forth in this way facilitates a direct and heartfelt sense of relatedness to source. Wow. So whether through indifference, depression, life crisis, or any other manifestation of mental, emotional, or physical blockages, my daughter's screaming downstairs, you have drifted from the intimacy with spirit for which you yearn. It is important to do what you can to regain an experience of spiritual power that is contained within you and all around you. Do so by conducting a ceremony, one of that which involves not only spirit but also material objects you consider sacred. Set up an altar in a convenient area that is apart from your usual living space. Start with representations of the 4 major elements, earth, air, fire, and water, and then add just a few sacred objects. Set your intention for the ceremony, such as whether the purpose is for healing, celebration, or honoring a particular earth season or cycle. Then do an invocation to call upon your spirit guides. Breathe their presence and ask these divine beings to guide you throughout the process. Trust their guidance. Feel your heartbeat and keep breathing. Breath is the key to the actual experience of spirit, and creating a ceremony is the vehicle that supports this. Beautiful cards. So definitely some sort of like ritual that you're doing here, Mintakas. And we have the 6th chakra, and I wanted to look this one up too. This is clarity of thought and your own personal vision. Okay, so wow, it's like you're doing a lot of magic, but like white magic, like good magic, like love, pure love, knowing how to work with source. So this is in the upright, and it says this very, very powerful Archangel Metatron, which I don't necessarily agree in working with, but this is all left up to discernment for you. This very powerful Archangel Metatron brings brilliant indigo vibrations to your brow chakra or 3rd eye. So this is the 3rd eye card, you guys. The 3rd eye card. Center, devoted to insight and clear thought. When this card appears upright, it indicates a much greater clarity in your thought process and an expanded perspective towards broader horizons. So some new perceptions are taking hold and the clouds of confusion are clearing. In some ways, this could be a new beginning, for you're on your way to developing a deeper insight about what's going on in your life and why. Now is the time to focus on your personal vision. What do you want your life to look like in the years ahead? Create a clear picture of that and support it with your daily thoughts. The insight you need to create a vibrant life is available to you now. So I really feel like this card's really great for like intense visualization, but I also feel like the 3rd eye visions of your future, like I had mentioned from the beginning, will really, really help you here. Also the remembering of what you and who, the remembering of who you are, and also the daily thoughts, so like affirmations here, to retrain your subconscious mind, and using that in conjunction with your 3rd eye visions will be like super potent. And I feel like you'll be doing some kind of invocation to help awaken and spark this journey where you're combining the two. We have prayer feather and vision quest. So doesn't this go along perfectly with the archangel and the 3rd eye? So we have the vision quest, like you're going on this vision quest and you're using prayer and like different symbols of the earth, such as feathers and things, to like help along this. And I want to read these too. So the vision quest card meaning is sacred seeker. Take time away from people and situations. Step back, withdraw. Your inner truth is emerging in stillness, but first you need to retreat. Know that you are guided. Look for answers in different ways. The answers are all around you. Watch for signs in the coming day. Trust that your life is being directed. Your native spirit wants you to know in earth-based cultures, larger questions about life are often answered on vision quests or solo retreats in nature. It's so interesting because I just literally went on one of these. Like, me and my family went away to the country and I spent most of the time outside, sometimes by myself, for like an hour. And I had some amazing like bilocation experiences. So it's just really coincidental that this came up. But I'll continue reading. Streets in nature. Questions such as, who am I? What am I meant to do with my life? And what is my mission and my purpose in life? Were often answered on quests of various kinds. Even if you don't have burning questions, when this card chooses you, it's telling you to take time away from your ordinary life. Take time to explore the depths of your soul. Your soul knows the truth. Take time in quietude to discover what it is. The answers to your questions are all around you, but you must be still to hear those messages. And the journey, it says, spend time alone, preferably in nature, without your cell phone and the internet, and even without a pencil and paper or book. Simply be. Listen to the world around you. Be still. Watch for signs. Open your heart to receive messages from the divine. And I literally just did this today. I sat outside and I was taking note of what the birds were doing around me. And yeah, you know, I think this is a great message for all the Mintakans, definitely. Prayer feather, yeah, because you receive the messages, you know, that you're needing to hear, because they're all inside of you. Let's see here. Prayer feather. So love is flowing to you and through you. No matter what an individual is saying or doing, love him or her anyway. Gather your inner forces silently and secretly. Love deeply and fully with every ounce of your being, even if someone isn't fulfilling your expectations. It's easy to love people when they're acting wonderfully. The true challenge is to love them when they aren't. Your native spirit wants you to know, feathers in a native cultures often represent a connection with the Creator. Birds often symbolize messengers between the two-legged humans and spirit. This is your time to love and be loved. The love that you send out into the world comes back to you 100-fold. There are times when the small concerns of everyday life need to drop away and be replaced by the majesty of your being. And it's so weird because right before I turned to this, I was drawn to this word majesty on the previous page. So it's really interesting. So, where was I? There are times when the small concerns of everyday life need to drop away and be replaced by the majesty of your being. This is that time. Prayer feathers are decorated feathers that can be used for many purposes. In some traditions, prayers are placed into the feather. You can hold it onto your heart or between your hands as you focus on your prayer. I literally saw a feather before I did this reading. A couple hours before I went outside and I was opening the gate and I saw a feather on the ground on the driveway. So yeah. In some traditions, prayers are placed into the feather. You can hold it to your heart or between your hands as you focus on your prayer, and then tie it onto a brush so when the wind blows, it carries the prayers to the Creator. Oh, tied onto a bush, not a brush, a bush. Another kind of prayer feather is a decorated feather or a decorated bundle of feathers that are used for smudging sacred smoke ceremonies. The smoke is to cleanse the space as well as carry your prayers upward. Excuse me. The journey for a day. Love each person you encounter. Imagine a golden ray of light from the center of your heart radiating to the center of the heart of that individual. Notice how great you feel by the end of the day. Beautiful messages here. I love them so much. Then we have make a decision in the reverse. So Spirit is really wanting you to make a decision here. And it says feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. So yeah, intuition in the reverse in two separate decks here. So please pay close attention to your intuition because that is where your power lies, okay? Also, worthiness in the reverse. It says, know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. Not just one way, in all ways. So you need to understand the worthiness that is you. And then we have empowerment in the upright. So this says you're more powerful. Two power cards here. See how powerful you are? You're more powerful than you realize. It's safe for you to be powerful. It is not dangerous. Do not get the wrong connotation of lightning, for you are lightning. You are this powerful lightning. You are this powerful being of electricity. So you're more powerful than you realize. It's safe for you to be powerful. Then it's asking you to organize for success. So this says, do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you Mintakans are getting organized for success. There's obstacles and blocks that are being lifted for you as well. It says all your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. So gratuity is a huge one here. Gratuity is huge. This is a beautiful card. I love it. Like, look at that blue. That's so Archangel Michael right there. And I'm just loving it so much. So yeah, stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your abundance continues. Because I feel like a lot of you Mintakans have been very abundant recently. And I think that's really good because it's reflecting the love that you have for yourself. And they're just reminding you of this. We have positivity, faith, and optimism. So this says you open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Do not allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere with the path that you are on. Keep the faith and keep going. So these blocks are going to be lifted. And even if there are challenges that come up, don't let them interfere, or don't let setbacks interfere with the path that you're on. Keep your faith and keep going because you're on the right path. All right, and then we have autumnal equinox, and this is released. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be releasing thought patterns, addictions, people, things that are negative, that are not in your alignment, or they're going to be released in a way that's transmutive. So you're going to be able to find ways to transmute these things, and then it will naturally release. So you're changing like the leaves on a tree. Like, you're changing colors. This is like definite rebirth, and this is like releasing all that doesn't serve you. And we have the shaman card. So this is ancient healing wisdom, and I feel like a lot of you are shamans. I feel like a lot of you are these ancient and futuristic wise healers that are able to heal. And I know for a fact I was a shaman in a past life, so this card resonates very deeply for me, as I feel it will resonate a lot for you guys as well. But also, you notice how the Native Americans are very closely tied to the earth, right, and the cosmos. And a lot of them did worship the Pleiades, the Pleiadians. And I feel like they hold all this like ancient wisdom, but also all this futuristic wisdom from the Pleiades. So it's like this beautiful combining of the two. It's like this alchemy of the future and the past. I just keep getting that message with this reading. So Mintakans, man, you're alchemizing and bringing forth futuristic and ancient wisdom. And we have the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. So I feel like a lot of you are healing your hearts, and you're healing the hearts of others, and you're working with Archangel Raphael. So if you wanted to become a healer and start diving into this, I feel like Archangel Raphael would be a great angel to work with and call upon. Or when it comes to healing your heart or healing different things about your light body or a physical body, Archangel Raphael will be a great archangel to call upon to help with this and in healing your heart, and then activating your heart to further heal others. And then we have victory in the reverse. So what am I getting with this? This victory card in the reverse is the victory card. Reverse signals a delay or reversal in a hoped for outcome. So whether it's in personal change or external achievement, success may have been eluding you for some time, but don't despair. You need time, or you may need to restructure some things, reevaluate, or release one specific outcome and set your sights on another. Whatever's going on externally, remember that the equanimity of peaceful surrender can often be your biggest victory of all. So I feel like a lot of you aren't surrendering enough, and it's just asking you to kind of surrender into everything. And I feel like this is a message for the healing of your heart and for the healing of others, that when you just surrender and allow the universe to guide you towards what you're being called to do and just let it happen, that's where your victory lies. And an affirmation that you can use with this card is, I'm achieving great things within myself and in the world. I see myself as a success in many wonderful ways, even now. Okay, so that's a great affirmation that you can use. So I feel like you're really opening up. I feel like you're really becoming expansive. And the last 3 cards you're reading are the Music Harmony card. So I feel like a lot of you might be tapping into your musical abilities and sharing these. Or perhaps this is just simply sharing your voice, sharing your song, your light language, your musical abilities, your creative abilities with the world. And then we also have Cave. So this is kind of like the Hermit card, but being in your own spot of sanctuary, sanctuary, to where you're able to go on this vision quest for yourself and figure out your truth. Really looking into ancient symbols too, because I keep getting that ancient symbol message, because I do feel these ancient symbols are actually from our future. And the more that we can understand them, the more we are able to connect them into our lives to help us further along our path. And then we have the Meadow, and this is vulnerability. So really being vulnerable with yourself and others, and being gentle like the flowers, and actually getting into nature, like becoming one with nature, is a huge message here. And I do want to read these last 3 cards to help us understand what is going on. So music. What would life be like without it? It's not something that we humans invented. Rather, music has been around since time began. Subtle and dramatic textures of sounds have existed as long as there have been beings that could hear them. For our ancient ancestors, paying close attention to sounds, rhythms, and vibrations from the environment helped them to survive. Of course, it has also been compelling for humanity to create music through our own voice and musical instruments. As we have evolved, so have the instruments we've created, some of which, when played, mimic the music of the natural world. Where there's more than one instrument played, or 2 or more people singing, the resulting harmonies blend into one unified sound that is pleasing to the ear. If the notes are out of sync, there's a notable dissonance that can be disturbing. Here we see 2 women with stringed instruments creating a harmonious blend. They're so absorbed in their playing that they appear to be in a trance, as if they're simply allowing the music to flow through them. This is a time of considerable harmony for you, one where the various elements in your life are flowing together smoothly. Just as in musical harmony, it is the interface of these elements that merge into a cycle of symmetry and balance that evokes feelings of harmony. The challenge is to sustain this inner accord, even when there is considerable dissonance outside of your own mind, heart, and body. Keeping the peace within is what I'm hearing. Note the sensations, emotions, and thoughts you experience when everything seems to be moving along well. Take 3 deep breaths and let your breathing be the anchor that reminds you of this state of consciousness. Whenever you perceive chaos around you, note that it is a mirror for your inner turmoil. When you recognize this, take 3 or more breaths to bring forth the memory of those moments when your life was like a symphony. Then, every time you exhale, you are releasing the energy of your internal state of harmony into the world, and it will have amazing effects. Breathe your harmony into the world, sing it out, speak it, play it. And then we have the Cave Sanctuary card. As the sun sets, the crescent of the new moon appears in the distance as this ancestral human creates his art, painting on the walls of the cave with colors drawn from earth substances. The fire warms him, the cave shelters him, and provides a refuge from the rest of the world. With its womb-like structures, it not only offers sanctuary, but also serves as a temple that houses his creative spirit, which eventually gives birth in the physical form of his artwork. Rebirthing, guys. Now, note how absorbed he is in the process. He no doubt has prepared for this creative ceremony by getting the fire going, mixing the colors, and gathering his sacred objects. And this is just like the invocation card. Whereas there's a fire that she's sitting on, there's the intention, right? And her guides that she's letting guide her, and then her objects, her intentional objects, and her intention, right? So, painting an image of a sacred spiral, one of the most ancient symbols ever discovered. It's been depicted in artwork found in a variety of cultures and occurs frequently in nature in exquisite mathematical proportions, such as in the shape of a nautilus shell. It also shows up in burial sites around the world, representing the endless spiral of life, death, and rebirth. The grand and complex mystery so elegantly portrayed in a simple circular pattern. There is a quiet, still place inside of you that will always be available as a sanctuary. Yet finding such a space in the natural world will enhance and complement this internal place of peace. I kept getting that message, right? The place of peace within inside of you. Whether it is a cave, meadow, forest, seashore, and shell, or any other setting in nature, this is where you can see, hear, and feel the presence of the Creator in your surroundings. I do have to mention, while we were away in the country where my parents were staying, there was a huge seashell outside, and I picked it up and I put it up to my ear and I listened to it, and you can hear the ocean and seashells, and like the big ones, and even little ones sometimes. And it feels like home. It like just naturally releases your anxiety. So I definitely, next time I'm at the ocean, I want to find one and bring it home with me, just because I remember doing this as a kid all the time when my mom had seashells. But I feel like if you have a seashell, please do this. It really releases anxieties. It makes you feel peaceful. It makes you feel at home. My sister put it up to her ear, and she said it automatically, got rid of her anxiety, and she just kept listening to it. She was like, it's home. This sounds like home. And I was like, yep. You're probably from Mintaka too, or Lemuria, because I'm from both, and they both contain seashells, oceans, and mermaids. But yes, so also to note, the crystal cave is an image that I constantly see. And I also wanted to note that in the story of MINTAKA, of the Native American story that coincides with Mintaka, they placed beautiful crystals as offerings in each four of the caves, the north, the south, the east, and the west. And we're doing a Mintaka reading right now, so this is of the utmost importance. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. So whether it is cave, meadow, forest, or any other setting in nature, this is where you can see, hear, and feel the presence of the Creator in your surroundings. So in the seashell, you're probably hearing the Creator. You are hearing the Creator. Let it become a temple for your heart and soul. Rather than having your computer, television, or any other human-made device or activity be your sanctuary, allow yourself to discover the perfect place in nature where you can simply be and breathe. Doing so bridges the connection between the internal and external, facilitating a spiritual communion that allows your being to be aligned in dramatic and quiet reverie, and quiet reverie with all that is. In today's busy world, it becomes even more critical to set aside time for sanctuary, even if you have to schedule it. Schedule some time out in nature, MINTAKA Starseeds. You need to do this, okay? And I'll be doing the same. Like, I'm taking a big break from social media for a little while. I'll still be doing readings for clients and stuff, but and I'll still be uploading, some videos to YouTube. But as far as like other things like Instagram and like just being on my phone, like I've been scheduling time away from it, and I've been receiving the biggest massive shifts and downloads by being out in nature. And I'm going to be doing this more and more for myself, and I highly recommend you do the same for yourselves as well. Last card is Meadow Vulnerability. This reading is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay because I have a soft spot for the Mintakans, and I feel like these messages really need to be conveyed to you guys. So vulnerability, the meadow in this card invites us in with its beauty and its openness. The flowers have arranged themselves in a poetic design orchestrated by nature, and the lush rolling fields urge us to relax and stay a while. Yet for some, the idea of being in such an open space is terrifying, and in an expansive meadow like this, we may feel exposed and defenseless, lacking the perceived safety of an enclosed area. For others, walking through a meadow can be an exquisitely satisfying experience. We can feel comfortable in the openness and visibility, enjoying the 360-degree view with nothing but the sky above. Yes, Yet we may still feel vulnerable, but with a twist. This is vulnerability built on the foundation of trust rather than fear. The capacity to trust our own instincts to tell us if there are any potential threats we must respond to. By relying on this instinctual knowing, we can relax and enjoy the beauty that surrounds us. You are in a place now where you can take risks with your feelings. And even more important, take risks with the truth of who you are. The truth you know in your heart and soul. You no longer need to be subjected to your conditioned fears of letting others know who you really are. Yes, others may judge, evaluate, criticize, and perhaps even put you down. These are very real possibilities. Yet by trusting that you have the strength to deal with these reactions rather than responding adaptively and always playing it safe, you can more confidently allow yourself to be vulnerable. Always holding back from expressing your truth can create an illusion of safety. But armed with your trust and your faith, you can choose to be vulnerable and share your authentic self with the world. This is a beautiful new perspective for you. And I feel like this is as openness and vast as the Milky Way itself, the cosmic womb. So really be vulnerable when sharing yourself in the world because the world needs you right now at this time. And yeah, it's just telling you to really stay positive, to hone in on your own intuition, to trust that, to do nature invocations and ceremonies, to really trust where your guides are leading you and trust where your intuition and your soul is leading you. And just go forth, stay self-disciplined, organized, and just know that your obstacles and blocks are being lifted. And you can, sometimes experience blocks, but when you have the gratitude for all things, no matter what they are, and keeping that positivity and faith going, it's just going to create more of that which you crave, more of that of what you were meant to be here to create. So yes, I hope that helped you, MINTAKA Starseeds. I love you so incredibly much. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a comment below how this resonated. Give this a like. Please consider subscribe. If you did want a Starseed Origins reading with me, please consider that. I would love to channel for you and connect you back to your cosmic origin, star family, your light beings, your guides, and all that information, including my light language course, is in the description box below, including all my other light language activations and services. So definitely check them out. They're all available to look through and see whatever you're drawn to. I'd be more than honored to do anything that you're being called to look into. So I love you all so incredibly much, and until next time, I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.